All right, drawing class, welcome back. Drawing on the right side of the brain. Second activity. Today we're going to talk about negative space. So here you can see I have drawn this pair of scissors, but I have not drawn the negative space. I've drawn the positive space. We almost always draw the positive space. I'm going to show you the difference between drawing the positive space and drawing the negative space now. So instead of drawing the inside of the objects, I'm simply drawing what I see around the outside of the objects. The scissors are a pretty good place to start because they're pretty simple. All right. Close enough. Okay, so the difference between the two here is that none of the information on the inside, none of these nice details that I would or should have drawn here on the inside, none of that information is in this one because I'm not concerned about what's happening inside my shape. I'm looking only at the negative space around the outside of my shape. Why might we be doing this? It is going to help us to see things better, see complicated things better. So the next thing I'm going to draw is this trumpet, and I'm going to stand it up so I can see it. Objects for you to try for this. Excuse me. Scissors are a good place to start. A chair upside down, sitting on a table is also a good place to start. It's kind of difficult to make your brain concentrate and look at only the negative space. You have to think about it to try to wrap your brain around it. What I'm doing for this trumpet is I'm starting with the easiest, biggest, most basic shapes, just like you normally would when you start a drawing. And that's going to help me fill in the small ones and really concentrate on the negative spaces. So I'm going to simplify just a little bit here. So drawing the negative space, again, it's really pulling on the right side of your brain. The left side of my brain says this is a trumpet. I know how to draw it, but I'm asking the left side of my brain to stop that and concentrating on what I actually see. Which is really hard. Again, that's why you'll hear me pause when I talk. So scissors are a good place to start. A chair, a musical instrument, any kind of objects you have laying around will work. They just have to have openings in them. Okay. All right, so drawing the negative space here, what that's going to do is make really difficult things easier. And I'm going to show you an example in just a second when I finish this. And I'm using other drawing techniques I've learned before. Like these negative spaces all need to line up. So before I draw that negative space, I'm kind of peeking over to make sure I've got it in the right spot. So I've got the basic shapes done. Oops. And it's starting to look like a trumpet. I'm going to go and I'm going to add a few more details before I call this good enough. Just messing things up in there. It's okay. I see a sliver of negative space here. That's negative space. Okay, decent enough. You get the idea here. I left out some details here with these pieces. All right, so let's see what this looks like. Here, so this on the left is a drawing of a chair. You can see details inside the chair, like screws and different layers of wood. This is this drawing of the negative space around a chair. It's really important that you can understand the difference between the two, because this is what I'm asking you to draw. You're going to draw a couple different objects. You're going to draw the negative space around those objects. Negative space is often easier for the right side of your brain to understand, easier to draw, and then those more difficult details just show up. Let's look at some more examples. So drawing on the right side of the brain, all of these exercises are coming from a book by Betty Edwards, and this is an example from that book. So a student attempted to draw a cart with a slide projector on it, and you can see this is their first attempt at drawing the actual cart itself. Then that same student drew the negative spaces, and you can see the difference in there. So they were struggling with perspective, seeing the tops of the cart when in different directions than what they really were here. All right, so this is the positive space. This is a picture or drawing of a chair. This is a drawing of the negative spaces. This is what I'm asking you to do. You could even shade around your object to show the negative space. I'm going to show you one more example here. I've got one of my stools on a table turned upside down. And you all sit in these stools, most of you, so you know what stool. You'll know after I draw this what stool I'm looking at. A chair is kind of an easy one to do, I think. So this looks silly, like 3 rectangles at the moment. However, wait for it. I'm realizing I have something at the wrong angle here. Okay, it's really important that you saw how I did this, that you watched this video. If you just look at this at the end, you're going to look at this and be like, oh yeah, that's a stool upside down on a table. But if you didn't watch how I drew it, it won't really make sense to you. So there's a lot more information in here. If I was drawing the actual stool, I probably would have started with this shape at the bottom, but these lines would have come out from inside there. I have overlap. When I'm drawing negative space, you don't see this kind of overlap. All right, so you're drawing the openings, which you can see through objects. You're drawing this shape. If it helps you one time to really quickly get started, if it helps you to just trace an object really quickly, this isn't going to count as one of your drawings, but if it helps you to trace an object like this, and then look at it, that's a negative space drawing of those scissors. That might help you kind of get a start on something if you want to start that way.